You know what's nice about cults that aren't the one that I cover on this channel? They'll tell you who their cult leader is.
Amy Carlson.
They called her Mother God.
Mother God.
This is Mother God.
If you ask all the Mother God people who their leader is, they're like, oh, Amy, yeah, Mother God. She's God. And our mom, yes. Do you have a question?
She's God.
I am God!
But Jehovah's Witnesses have got this one figured out. I have been making a terrible, embarrassing mistake from the very beginning of this channel because I just checked their website, and Jehovah's Witnesses can't be a cult because they don't have human leaders.
Some think of a cult as being a dangerous religious sect with a human leader. Jehovah's Witnesses do not look to any human as their leader.
This video was very simply going to just be about money. Jehovah's Witness Leadership Watchtower has been making a lot of videos and putting out a lot of articles recently about how important it is that Jehovah's Witnesses give money.
The text reminds us of using our financial means to make friends with Jehovah and Jesus. And even though Jehovah owns everything, seeing us giving, making sacrifices, makes him happy.
In ancient times, when an Israelite made a heartfelt offering to support the temple, that offering was referred to as a gift in hand to Jehovah. Today, in Kingdom Halls of Jehovah's Witnesses around the world, there are small boxes marked for voluntary contributions.
To give you my valuable things.
Yes, I know what it takes. So with each day that breaks, I know what I will do.
And I have felt the same frustration that I think a lot of other people in this community have felt, which is, how can they not see that this is a cult?
But what if somebody secretly held back and did not give Jehovah the whole tithe, perhaps giving less than a tenth? How would Jehovah feel about that? Would he be inclined to bless those who were stingy?
That's not likely.
Millions of dollars are required each month to finance the colossal kingdom work.
Money, please!
And then I was watching this video by a channel I really like called Believe It or Not, where he talked about tithing. And of course, Believe It or Not is able to show all these crazy clips from televangelists and preachers. Clearly, no veil, no salt or sprinkle seasoning, just, hey, God says you need to give me some money.
If you say, I should be able to give what I am able to give, fine, that's fine, but don't ever pray another time to God, because obviously you got this game on lockdown.
God is my business partner, and my giving to him is his cut. And if I rip off his cut, why should he bless me? Nobody wants to continue to do business with somebody who is dishonest.
Whatever you do right now, don't you stop tithing. Don't you stop sowing offerings. Well, they won't let us go to church. Well, email it in there, text give or something, but you get your tithe in that church.
Hey, Kenny, what's 10% of zero?
And I realized something. I think the reason why Jehovah's Witnesses aren't as concerned about this and tend to not notice it as much, at least I know I didn't when I was a witness, is the governing body are pretty smart.
Now, we're truly blessed to be part of God's Spirit-directed organization that are lovers of God rather than lovers of money. We don't have collections at our meetings or our conventions. Donations are made discreetly, and funds are used wisely and modestly.
There are not videos where Jeffrey Jackson's like, hey, Jehovah says that you need to give us your money. They don't do that. If you watch these guys, you'll notice they don't say I or you. Like, they don't say you should give me money or even you should give us money, but we should give money. To who? Jehovah, of course. God. We'll give it to him. Just put it in our pockets right here. And it all comes back to this word, we.
How do we use our financial means to make friends in heaven?
We can honor or show respect and appreciation for Jehovah with our valuable things. Jehovah is truly worthy of all the honor we can give him. Not only do we owe it to him, because He is our Creator.
When it comes to who Jehovah's Witnesses should be giving money to, or who Jehovah's Witness leadership even is, all of a sudden, it's we.
So what have we learned from our brief discussion of tithing? That Jehovah created us to find joy in giving. And we give generously of our time and resources because we love Jehovah.
Jehovah's Witnesses do not look to any human as their leader. Rather, we adhere to the standard that Jesus set for his followers.
We need to be doing this. So for the next however long I decide to do this, let's look at, and actually let's, because I'm also going to watch the video that you're about to see. So I can say that. I can say we sometimes as a treat. I want to look at how Jehovah's Witness leadership gets away with stuff by using impersonal, abstract language. I want to talk about the power of we. The governing body often give talks about the need for Jehovah's Witnesses to obey the governing body, but there are a couple layers of impersonal language happening here. One, they still do the we thing.
The governing body today provides spiritual food, direction, and practical help for God's people around the world. Jesus has appointed that governing body to be the faithful and discreet slave. How grateful we are that Jehovah, through our leader Jesus Christ, has organized us so that we can do God's will as a united brotherhood.
But the other thing is that they call themselves the faithful and discreet slave, a phrase from the New World Translation of the Bible. A lot of translations render that the faithful and wise servant. Jehovah's Witnesses believe it's a prophecy. They're basically the only group that thinks this. Everybody else agrees it's a parable. But by calling themselves that, there's like two layers of abstraction happening.
So clearly Christ has appointed the faithful and discreet slave, and it is through this channel that Jehovah, through Christ, works to provide spiritual food.
Jehovah's Witnesses have seen televangelists and have heard them written about in the Watchtower and Awake magazines. Disparagingly, I should say. They were quite against televangelism before they went ahead and started evangelizing on people's televisions. But instead of one of the leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses saying, you need to give us money, they say, we need to support the faithful and discreet slave. We need to trust Jehovah, and Jehovah trusts the faithful slave.
This is not to say that the slave is perfect and never makes mistakes, but Jehovah and Jesus trust the imperfect slave who cares for things to the best of his ability and with the best of motives. Shouldn't we then trust the imperfect slave as well?
Governing body members justify this a little bit sometimes by saying, hey, even individual members of the governing body have to trust the other members of the governing body.
Obviously, even now, Jesus fully trusts the faithful slave. And all of us, even individual members of the governing body, should do the same.
When it comes to leadership and when it comes to money, things are so abstract through this impersonal language that when I was a member, it never even occurred to me. I was listening to a talk by a leader telling me how much I need to trust him.
And we appreciate that, don't we?
Until like one day I did, and I made a whole 3-hour long video about it. 3-hour long? I used to be in a call. I don't know this modern youthful slang. Another thing you'll notice is that because they speak as a collective, like unity from Rick and Morty,
and we thank Jehovah for that,
they're able to say what everybody already thinks about stuff that sometimes just happened.
What a powerful
video that was.
Thank you, brothers, for those faith-strengthening talks.
This exciting drama.
Did you catch the wise words of our brother Winston?
In his beautiful accent.
Like a guy will give a talk or the whole show a video, and they'll be like, we just loved that, didn't we?
And we appreciate that, don't we?
Thank you, Brother Hurd, for those encouraging reminders, for those candid experiences. What Brother Turner said is true. Beautiful. It's so catchy and uplifting. I think we'll all be singing He Knows Us for days to come.
Weren't we upbuilt by that? For my ex-JW viewers, When have you ever heard anyone say the phrase upbuilt, upbuilt?
This made his talk upbuilding.
But you might be thinking, yes, but this is some pretty flimsy plausible deniability. It's still blatantly manipulative, but flimsy plausible deniability is really all a cult member needs to hang on to their beliefs. We inherently want to protect the beliefs that we have, and cult indoctrination makes those instincts 10 times stronger. That's not like a scientific number, I just made that up. It's just really strong, okay? But when a member of Jehovah's Witnesses hears allegations that they are in a cult, they can have that flimsy, plausible deniability. I don't have a cult leader. Cults follow men. We have 9 leaders, and even then, they're not our leaders. They don't even talk like our leaders. They're just one of us because we are all on the same page. Cult leaders are in it for the money, and the governing body clearly isn't in it for the money. They don't tell us a specific amount of money to give. They don't pressure me into giving. They just talk about, like, how we all need to give. But if you have a friend or family member who is a member of Jehovah's Witnesses and you're frustrated at the lack of awareness that they are in a high control group, flimsy excuses like this, the passive language, the use of we to give the sense that there is no hierarchy, we're all in this together, that goes a long way into suppressing those doubts. Oh, adjusts podium. We certainly did enjoy those fine upbuilding examples, didn't we, friends? And we would really love it. We do already love how much we are already giving to Patreon and how much we have subscribed to the channel. We love all the names that are scrolling across the screen right now. Me, a corporate executive with some kind of neck band? Yeah, my leader's Keith Rainier, Keith Reindeer. Back in my day, imagine I had a cane, and imagine I knew how to edit it, so I could actually edit it like an animation of a cartoon cane. I'm just gonna cut that out, because I don't want to do any even pretend bad animation. After all, it's pretty obvious why Jehovah's Witness leadership is asking for money. They want some. That's why I asked for money.
I've met Brother Rawakabubu and personally heard many of his amazing experiences, some of which he acted out for me. Rawakabubu, kabubu, 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 kabubu,